Welcome back. Some of the funniest comedians, not only from Maine, but around the country, have been going head to head in a special competition in Portland.
Yeah, it's the second annual Comedy Classic at Empire. The field started at 85 and now they are down to 3.
So joining us this morning from Empire Comedy Club is Lucas Salisbury. He is the promoter and producer at Empire and the brains behind this event.
Yeah, Lucas, first of all, tell us how this competition works. It sounds like comedy's version of like March Madness in August and September, huh?
So that's kind of the deal. Like most competitions, they run usually short over a weekend, but what we did is we kind of spread it out over 8 weeks. Typically, most competitions will run a 5-minute set for comics, and that's how the competition works, and whoever moves on wins. But with mine, like how we kind of created it at Empire, is to see, like, we're looking for feature comics. We're looking for comics that could do a lot of time. So we start out with 5-minute sets in the first round, and as you go on, second round was 7-minute sets. We just had round 3 last night, and they were doing 10-minute sets. And then the 3 comics that move on to the finals are all doing 20 minutes each.
Oh, wow.
So that's like basically 15 to 20 minutes is like the feature time that you'll see for a comedian. Like if they're opening for a national headliner or something like that, that's kind of where the time is that I'm looking for. So, you know, we started with 85 submissions, 64 comics in round 1, and we're down to 3, and they're great.
Wow,
the talent
that's
pool
a
is
lot
very,
to
very
narrow
good.
down.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, how is this judged? Is it with a set of judges, or is it by like crowd noise?
So a little bit of both. Like a lot of competitions will do like bringer shows where you bring your crowd, they vote for you, and that's how you kind of move on. But we wanted to judge it based on talent. Excuse me. So we had a few different judges each week judging on stage presence, delivery, writing, and the crowd reaction to kind of get a basic score of like their entire performance. So even if a comic's an exceptional writer, but it wasn't their night with a crowd, they still had a chance to move on because they're good, but like the crowd, they didn't speak to the crowd because comedy is so subjective. Like you never know what you're going to get with the crowd and how they'll react to a comic. So for that, in that instance, like they kind of should develop their material, and like you get to see a good basis of it instead of just being like a bringer show where it's like, oh, you moved on because you brought 30 people to vote you through.
That's
you
a
know
good point.
Yeah. What has the response been from the crowds?
Awesome. I mean, since the beginning, like the first rounds were 16 comics per show. We had 4 weeks of round 1. They were each doing 5 minutes. We had comics as far as Chicago coming up, all over New England and beyond. And there was a lot, like when we got down to the 64, like a lot of them had great 5-minute sets. So like the 5-minute sets were awesome. And then as they moved on, like each round got very hard to judge because the talent was very tight. And especially this last round was exceptionally tight. It was 8 comics and we narrowed it down to 3, but any one of them could have turned the tide with 1 second different of a joke or like how the crowd reacted.
Wow. What has the response been from the comedians themselves?
New comics loving the opportunity and learning a lot about comedy. And realistically, like for any comic that's working, you have to have a crowd to practice. It's unique in that sense. You can't, you know, go to like bands, you can't practice in a room and work on material for comedy. You have to have a crowd. So even the comics that didn't make it forward, like they saw it as an opportunity to work on their material and get in front of an audience to continue practicing and developing what they're doing.
The thing about this, last year had 48.
Yep.
This time 85. I mean, what's the why is such growth in this, you think?
I think just in general, the club is growing.
Yes, it is.
We've got a very good, we're probably one of the fastest growing independent comedy clubs in the country. We're talked about on a lot of podcasts. We bring in a lot of high level national headliners, some that are theater acts that come down and sit in our 130 seat room and perform in an intimate room. So like, we've gotten a lot of good recognition and we built a really good reputation over the last few years. So I think the growth of the club itself and just the repetition of also consistency. People love consistency. So we had the first one last year, now second annual. Then next year we'll do another one. Hopefully we'll continue to build on it.
Well, let's talk about the finalists now, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the finals take place a week from Saturday. That's September 5th, everyone.
Yep.
Monica Carroll will be one finalist hitting the stage that night.
Yep, Monica Carroll's fantastic. She's based out of the Boston area. Really sharp writer, a little dirty and dark, so she can push the edge a little bit. But she's fantastic. She's got great stage presence. And she's very talented. I've seen her on some other shows as well. I've seen her do 10, 15-minute sets and stuff, working with other comics or featuring. Very talented writer, very sharp.
Yeah, now the next up, Ethan Cannon has to go up against her. So tell us about Ethan.
Ethan Cannon is a newer comic that I just kind of started seeing recently. He's done some showcases and stuff for me in the past and signed up, but to be honest, Ethan has been the strongest in the entire competition so far. every round, Ethan's probably had the set of the night. He's a very good writer as well, very quick punches and stuff like that. But he plays to like what people experience in life, and like he's a very small guy, and he uses that to his advantage, and he crushes it. Very, very good as well.
And last but not least, Brian Rojas, what got him to the finals?
Brian Rojas is so polished. He's very just like, he looks like a pro comic, like, and like how he delivers his mannerisms, how he emotes kind of physically, like, and like changes his voice and shifts things for his joke. He's a very good writer. Like, I think his writing has still room to grow, but as far as like polished performance and stage presence, I think Brian like edges out most people in that realm.
All right, so the finals are coming up September 5th. That's a week from Saturday, I think, right?
Yep.
So how can people get tickets, and tell us more about your club so people can hurry up and get those tickets? I'm sure they're going to go fast.
Tickets are on EmpireComedyME.com. You can Google Empire Comedy Club, you'll find us. Tickets are $20 for this show. We seat 130, so you know our hopes is this year if we can sell it out, like, and we can keep building it, like, you know, the crowd will get an exceptional performance. We're also actually going to have last year's winner, Maz Ishmael, is going to close out the show.
Oh, awesome.
He won last year. Very good comic, very dark comic, but he's going to come up and close out the show. So like after the first 3 performances happen, we'll be able to kind of put together the score. So at the end of the show, we can announce the winner. But as far as that goes, like everything else, we have tons of national headliners come up, local shows. We're open Thursday through Sundays, and if you need to laugh, which everybody does, come see us.
I love your club. I've
you.
been there a couple
Thank you.
times. It is great. Intimate space, so hopefully you can sell out for this.
Yeah, it'll be
All right.
sweet.
Well, Lucas, very nice to meet you,
Yeah,
and
pleasure.
thanks for coming on to Arc Maine.
Thank you, guys.
And plus, you got a great place to eat right downstairs. You
Yeah,
have
Empire
Asian
Chinese,
food,
you can't
and
beat
come
it.
Such a good
upstairs,
deal.
right?
Well,
Thanks for having me.
After the break,